first time live in a while. As you guys can see, I'm over here pushing buttons. A little bit different since I guess probably been 2 or 3 years since I went live. Anyways, no real reason why I'm going live. Just wanted to come say what's up. It's been a while and see how everyone's doing. I found this channel by accident. So I logged on to YouTube and I guess I created this channel a while ago and made everything private because they kept on deleting all of my accounts. I think YouTube deleted like 3. So I don't know where this account came from, but it's got like 1,300 followers on it or something like that. So, anyways, wanted to come live, say what's up, see if any of you guys are still on here, see if you guys remember me, and all that good stuff. So, as you can see, I still look the same. I still am the same, and yeah. Let me see here. I don't know how any of this stuff works. Chat filter. I don't know. I don't know how to find. I don't know how to. Can you tell that it's been a while? Oh, look at that. Oh, Cletus Jenkins back there. It's pretty cool. They can put that back there. Look at this. Oh, they, them. Collect all 72 genders. This is pretty cool here. They didn't have this feature back whenever they were censoring your boy. I don't know how to find the chat here, guys. I don't know if there's nobody in it. If they would just pop up the chat will just pop up at the bottom of the screen, but there's no like chat box or anything like that. So I don't know what's going on there, but there's one person in the chat here. If you don't mind, if you are in the chat or watching the stream, type something, please. So I'm trying to see just how this thing works here. I want to see if it'll just pop up from the bottom of the screen or what'll happen. So hopefully everybody out there, I've talked to a couple of people that followed. I've posted like just a couple of different videos, random videos, nothing much. Like I said, I've been focusing on other stuff since all of these scumbags took all of my accounts, all of my work, my business, my clients. That's what happened, For those of you that don't know, that really kind of sent my whole life into a kind of like a whirlwind, I'm sure you guys could all imagine. Because yeah, all of that stuff that I had been building that YouTube channel and the following and all of the content and all of those videos. Okay, I see it there now, Jason. What's up, Jason? So it does just pop up. But I had been working on that stuff since like 2009. And, at that point, I think it was probably like 12 to 15 years deep I was into it. And just like that, it was all gone. And yeah, it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough, to say the least. But, it is what it is. And everybody sees how they operate now, which is good. But it's still kind of weird to me that nobody is going to pay for what they did to people like me. And I know there had to have been hundreds, if not thousands of us. You know, I mean, maybe a lot of them didn't have much invested into their channels and the content because maybe they're not content creators. You know, maybe they're just normal people that signed up from social media to follow stuff, to be able to comment, whatever it may be. So they don't care if they got their accounts taken. You know what I mean? But for people like me, you know, I mean, it was like I created a business out of and a brand out of what I was doing. You know, it was literally my livelihood, and it kind of sucks that we're not going to see any kind of justice at all for that. You know, um, Mark Zuckerberg is out here is like he's admitted that what he did was wrong and that they did it at the hands of the government and you know that Google is the same way and YouTube is the same way, exactly what happened, but none of them are paying for it. You know, it's like it's really strange that that kind of stuff is just allowed to happen in the United States, but it is what it is. um I'm gonna try this shit one more time. And I don't know why, because I told myself that I wasn't going to do it. I've got a lot of other stuff going on as well. Like I'm on the verge of becoming a pro golfer. Like the last 2.5 years, 3 years, that's what I've been doing. Since my business was taken, since all of the accounts were taken, censored, and all of that crap. That's what I've been doing. I found golf as a way to cope with what I was going through. Because no matter what anybody says, no one would ever really know how that feels to have all of that stuff taken from you for no reason other than telling the truth and exposing criminals. Nobody would really know how that feels. So it sucks. But like I said, I told myself I would never do this again. But you know what? I'm also not the kind of person to give up and to let people like these scumbag individuals that did this silence me or stop me from what I was trying to achieve in the first place. That's not like me. That's not who I am. It's not ever been who I am. I'm the opposite of that. But, I'm a human being, and that stuff really, really got to me. Like I said, I have been working on this my whole entire life, basically, as an adult. And to have that stuff taken, it is what it is. But it hurt, and it did damage to my life. And I'm just now finally starting to get my confidence back and get out of the dark place that I was at. Because I was in a dark place, believe me. Other things happened in my life. It was just like all this stuff happened at once, and it was just like this huge whirlwind of craziness, and it was tough for me. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough for me. But here I am nonetheless, and hopefully that you guys that still follow me here still enjoy my content, or used to enjoy my content enough to stick around and see what else I'm gonna do. I don't quite know what that's going to be yet, but I know it's going to resemble a lot of what I was doing before, a lot of like comedy skits, political comedy skits. I might do some singing every now and then. I don't know. But I know that I'm not going to just lay down and let them people, take away my goals and my dreams and everything that I had worked for, that I do know. So yeah, Kylie Rodney. Yep. I've got a lot. I mean, this, like I said, this account right here, this Michael Dade Project account somehow has got, I guess it was in 2022 when I made it, but I've got all of those videos on there. And they are private. So all the stuff with Kylie Rodney on there, they're somehow still on this channel. I've just got it all private. So yeah, Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they just got away with it, and still nobody has looked into that area, anything like that. So, what's up, Margaret? Yeah, yeah, me too, Jason. That was a good time. I met a lot of cool people. Um, met a lot of crazy people as well. A lot of scumbags, honestly, that were dealing with all that stuff. Um, but yeah, I've got all of that content. I just recently put all of my music videos back up there. They're all on there. I've created a couple of small little skits on there. Um, Now it's just really a matter of trying to build the channels up again. You know, I'm still very very heavily censored, even on X, which is kind of crazy. The so-called free speech platform, and Elon Musk is the free speech hero and stuff. I mean, it's great what they've done, but don't get me wrong, it's a little strange that those guys are censoring me. And they're going about it publicly. Whereas everyone else, before in 2019, 18, whenever it was when they were censoring a lot of people, uh, they were trying to hide that they were doing it. Now X comes out and they call it a label. That's what they do. They call it a label on your account, which is nothing more than just shadow banning. They just tell you that they're doing it. So they came out and just out of nowhere told me that they put a label on my account on X, and it limits a lot of the reach and the engagement that I can get from those people on that platform. So it's still happening, and that's the thing that is still boggling my mind just a tiny bit when we have Trump in office and we've got, you know, these people out here that are claiming to be free speech heroes. Um, it's a bit odd, and the weird thing is they give you no way to fix it. So it's like I can't. I go to the contact support. They don't have a way to contact them online. They just tell you what you have to do, and if you don't have the option to do what they tell you to do, then you just have to sit back and just wait until they take the label off, or AKA stop shadow banning you. So it's a bit weird, like it's still happening. How is it still happening? And why is it still happening? How come no one has paid for this yet? It's weird, It's like, and like I said before, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg's came out and said openly what they were doing. I've contacted him on Instagram probably at least a dozen and a half times saying, when are you going to give me back what you stole from me? Which is my account, which is all of my work, all of my personal memories, all the photographs and the everything that I had on these accounts. These people took it for no reason other than telling the truth and exposing their criminality. So it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird that it's still happening. It's a bit weird that everyone is pretending like it's not happening and pretending like that they're free speech heroes and stuff. That's everything is not what it seems, and people thought I was crazy back then saying that, if we don't see arrest whenever Trump takes office and gets power, and we start seeing stall tactics again and again and again and again, just like Democrats do, something is up, and then we've got all of these like Q podcasts and shows all out there like pushing the goalposts back still to this day. I mean, they're still doing it. Oh, well, you just need to wait. Oh, we're just going to be till the midterms. Oh, well, we can't just arrest one person. We've got to wait till we can do it. Just nothing but excuse after excuse after excuse from these people. And they're supposed to be the good guys, and that's what I'm having a hard time understanding. Me as an independent who is not a Republican, certainly not a Democrat, you couldn't pay me enough to support what those sick MFers support. But I'm not Republican either, like once I found out about Bush and the 9/11 and the Iraq war and everything that went along with that, and I started following who the Republicans were and the wars and the uniparty and stuff like that, like I became an independent. So I have no like iron in the fire, so to speak. I'm going to call it how it is. And that's always how I've been. And that's always how I will continue to be. So, let me look at some of these here. Yeah. Margaret said she got kicked off of Facebook for posting about Jesus. See, I mean, that's why is no one stopping this stuff? You know, I mean, I guess it's up to us to not use their platforms anymore, you know, and use some of these other ones that are supposed to be free speech platforms. Yeah, I honestly don't think so either, Jason. I think that something's up with the guy, you know, and it's like you can tell that he's going to try to run for president. You can tell the way everything's being set up, and it's like everyone went from being very skeptical about all these people like Elon and Tulsi Gabbard and RFK and, you know, all of these former Democrats. Everybody went from being really skeptical about all these people to, oh, we're so scared now that we'll gladly support a one party system, which basically is what's going to happen because Democrats aren't going to exist anymore. I mean, if this stuff really comes out and all of this information, this criminality comes out, they're not going to exist anymore, which is going to leave us with what? One party full of former Democrats and Republicans. And that's just a little odd, you know, that nobody is stopping and saying to themselves, okay, it's like everybody's so scared about all the stuff that they see in the news that they'll happily just accept anyone that stops all the fear, you know? It's weird. Anybody else notice that? Yeah. Yeah. The whole Pam Bondi thing, she came out and was like, oh, the list is on my desk, this and that. And I'm still a little confused at what people are expecting with the list. Like, what are you expecting with the Epstein list exactly? You know? I mean, are you expecting to see people's names with how many children that they've diddled and how many, you know, like, what are you expecting to see? The only way we're going to know what happened out there and who it was and what they were doing is if we see the evidence that the FBI seized from his home in New York, Epstein Island, and in New Mexico. That's the only way we're going to see and know any of this stuff. And will that stuff even be released? Will we even see that stuff? You know, like, is it even available now? Is it deleted? Like, what is it? Yeah, exactly, Jason. You know, there all this talk about all this fraud and all this waste and all of this criminality and corruption that all these people are exposing, and nothing has happened to any of these people. But yet, 20 years, 40 years for keying Teslas and burning Teslas on the Tesla lot. It's very strange, and it all just seems like stall tactics to me. Like I said, I voted for Trump 3 times, but I also researched Trump very, very, very in depth. And there's some things that I just don't like about him. You know, I get an eerie feeling that they're going to try to push this unity bullshit. I have a feeling that it's going to be like, oh, well, no, this is bad for the country. No, we all need to come together. I just have a bad feeling about it. And that was my one red line when all this stuff started happening in 2016, 2015, whenever he announced that he was running. My one red line is if we get to the point where he has control and nobody goes to jail, then we will know that this was nothing but a globalist scripted LARP where all of them were in on it, and the only people that weren't is us. Like that, and the way that I like to describe it is a globalist scripted LARP titled Politics, where it's good guys versus bad guys. It's like a globalist scripted reality show titled Politics, where it's good guys versus bad guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seems like to me. When in reality, they're all working together, you know? And the more time that goes by and the lack of accountability and justice really lends itself to that option for me. I don't know about you guys, but yep. Oh yeah, Hollywood's definitely in on it. I mean, all of the people that are rich and on TV, in my opinion, they are all in on it. They all decided that they were cool with the corruption, they were cool with the criminality, they were cool with the human trafficking and all of the Satanism and Luciferians and pedophilia. Yeah, you got it. I don't want the video to get taken down, but they all decided that they were cool with that stuff. As long as they got money, fame, and all of their dreams and their dream jobs. Every one of the people, it seems like, are a part of it. You know, anybody that's on TV and that is rich, I feel like that they're on a part of it, because people like myself, I'm getting shadow banned. I get no opportunities, you know, and I feel like that if I were a part of their clique, or if this was really a fair world, that wouldn't be happening to me or any other content creators that are being blacklisted and shadow banned and censored and all that stuff. We would be getting fair opportunities just like everybody else. But when you come out and you publicly face these people and you piss off all the people that have all of the money and all of the opportunities to offer, this is what happens. You know, I mean, so I think that's a part of what they mean by selling your soul. Now, obviously, there is a real aspect to that as well, where people genuinely will sell their soul for fame and money. But I think it also has to do with you put your values, your morals, and everything else aside, and you're willing to accept all of the evil and all of the criminality and corruption, and you just compartmentalize it and just pretend like you're an actor or a content creator or a musician and you don't know about any of it, you know? In a way, you know, I think, I mean, not in a way, in all the ways, I thank God that I didn't make it in Hollywood. I thank God that I saw what was going on when I went to those parties. And that's what made me come back home. And I feel like that if I would have, at that point in my life, in my mid-20s, I would have been more susceptible to being compromised than if it were to happen now. You know, I wouldn't even consider going to Hollywood now, or even being a part of that industry or anything like that now. But whenever I was in the midst of working my ass off to achieve my goals and I was younger, just like all of these other people you see, is like you're willing to sacrifice things that you wouldn't normally sacrifice to get there. And that's why people like Diddy and Epstein and all of these casting couch people out there, they knew that. They knew that these people would compromise themselves to get roles, to get record deals, to get to get money, to get everything that they ever dreamed of. They knew that they had that leverage on these people. And they've created that whole system around it. And you just expand it even further, and it goes out into politics, it goes out into geopolitics. It's the same thing. You know, people with power and money know that they have leverage over those that don't, or individuals that don't have morals and values and integrity, you know, character. But I thank God that you know, I don't thank God enough for that, honestly, but I do thank him for saving me from that, because there's no telling where I would be at now. I very well would probably be rich and famous, but at the expense of sacrificing my morals, possibly my soul, my integrity, and my values and my character. You know, I would not ever even consider that now. But like I said, when you're younger and you're working at these goals and that's what you want to do with your life, you are more susceptible to compromising yourself to get there, you know? And as sad as that is, but it's still going on. That's what's crazy. You know, all of this stuff still has came out. There's ample celebrities talking about all of the abuse that goes on, and still parents are lined up to drop their children off in Hollywood. You know, that's like mind-blowing to me, dude. It's like all of the people that you see in these interviews with Biden, where they bring their young daughters to these photo ops with Biden, and he's sniffing them and grabbing them and groping them, and their parents are standing right there, letting the guy do it, when the girls are clearly very uncomfortable. Their parents are just sitting there smiling, like pretending like it's not happening. You know, it's like that's how crazy some of these people are. Yeah, I agree, Jason. I mean, you know, all of you guys that followed me before, you know how many followers I had. You know how many views I was getting on my content. You know, I mean, I had hundreds of thousands of followers across all of the platforms, and I was reaching into the tens of millions of views. You know, until boom, blink of an eye, it was gone. And see, now that everybody knows my name, and now that everybody knows what I look like and what I stand for and what kind of content and what I'm doing, you know, it's almost like that. Before, those who govern the internet and these social media sites, it was almost like an accident that I got there, you know? And it's like their censorship was them in damage control, trying to say, oh, we should have never allowed this guy to get to this point. We've got to take him out of there. And now that they know who I am, it's like none of them are going to let me get back there again. Even the good ones, the good guys like Elon. I mean, I've even tagged Elon 4 or 5 times asking him what the deal is with the shadow banning. You know, no response, but it's just so weird to me. And that's, you know, I'm getting no traction on Instagram, no traction on X, no traction on YouTube. It's the strangest thing, man. I have, yep. It's sick. Yep. So, I mean, I got kind of lucky, honestly, to find this account. I don't know. I think I logged out of my email on my laptop, and then when I went to go log back into it, I used an email that was wrong, but it just so happened to be an email that I used setting up this account after my other ones had gotten taken down. And I think what happened was I had just decided that I was going to, after the second one was taken down by YouTube, or the third one, whichever it was, I had just decided, like, all right, I'm wasting my time here. Why do I keep doing this if I know that I'm going to get all of these accounts taken down. Like that's what my thing was. And I think I just closed it out on my own. I think what do you call it? Whenever deactivated it. I deactivated it. And when I logged back in with that email, it activated it again. So I had all of this content still on here. It was just private. And I think, like I said, 1,300 followers on there. So I'm lucky that I had that set up and that I deactivated it and logged back in, because I would not have any of you guys still following. I wouldn't have had any of that content that I thought that I had lost, because I didn't back any of this stuff up when I was creating it, because I didn't think that we lived in a freaking Nazi environment that we're going to be censored. So I didn't back any of it up. Thankfully, this account is still up and I had all of that on there, and I've downloaded a lot of it. So I have it now in case anything goes down. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the future is going to bring. Like I said, I don't even know how active I'm going to be on here. I just kind of wanted to come on, see if anybody came in here. I used to really, really enjoy doing these live streams and talking about stuff and interacting with you guys, and I still do. Hopefully, we can get it going again and, build this thing back up to where we reach some people. Because I think that the main thing that a lot of these individuals don't like about me as a person is the fact that I bring like a very, very logical and like commonsensical way of explaining what they're doing. I mean, I don't see a lot of individuals explaining this stuff the way that I explain it. If that makes sense, So I think that that's a big deal. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. You guys let me know, comment below, share this video, share some of the other videos, and we'll see if anybody's interested in it. That's kind of the way that I'm looking about doing it. If people are interested in it, I'll do it. I'll spend my time on it and put some energy and effort into it and make it fun and make it good like it was before. But if not, it is what it is. So yeah, we'll see. I don't expect much, because like I said, I do believe that a lot of these people are in on this stuff, and I think that they're all working towards one goal, which, like I said, in my opinion, is, though it's not the uniparty that we all know and we've opened our eyes to understanding how it works, if they keep going down this route, it's still going to be the same thing, except for it's going to be the opposite of how it was. Now it's going to be we're all Republicans now, and everybody, as long as we get rid of the crazy radicals, and when in reality, all they had to do was come out and do all of this crazy stuff openly, because they knew the public would catch on to it. And then what do? They bring in the saviors of politics, the RFK and Trump and all of the people that are supposed to be independents coming together, unifying as one under the Republican Party and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seems like to me is happening. Now, the only way that I'm going to know if that's the truth is, like I said, if there is no arrest. If they keep moving the goalpost back, by the time the midterms come around and they're still on the same BS, I think that it's probably safe to say that it was all just a globalist scripted reality show titled Politics. Good guys versus bad guys. And in the end, the bad guys are going to be beaten and everybody comes together and unified under the Republican Party. Former Democrats, independents, everybody, it's like, sounds amazing. If it's not scripted globalist bullshit, I have my doubts. So if we go by what all the Trump administration and all these people have been saying, there is ample evidence to put these people away for a very, very long time. So if we start seeing, oh, well, we can't do it like this, or we got to wait until this, and the terms that we see and hear a lot is the optics aren't right, or the timing isn't right. If we constantly and continuously hear and see these people saying this stuff, to where it's like blatantly obvious that they're stalling, then we're going to know, folks. Trust me. Like I said, I voted for Trump 3 times, and I'll be ashamed of that if that's what happens. But like I said, the time for me, the line for me is going to be that, the arrest. So we'll see. I mean, they're out here talking about all of like billions and trillions of dollars in waste, in government waste, and fraud, all of the corruption, all of the everything that's happened. And you mean to tell me that we don't have enough evidence to put him in jail? Right. Yeah. Sure thing, pal. Yeah. So that's going to be my line. Like I said, if you guys want me to start this up again, please help me build these channels back up. Help me get back some sort of semblance of what I had before, to where I could get back on my feet again, Like I said, this shit really, really, really messed my life up when they took my business and everything that I had worked for, and it sent me into a dark place. And I'm hoping that I can get back to where I was. And that's going to be up to you guys. So God bless you all. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And until next time, peace.